Welcome back, friends. Prepared Suburbanite here. Wanted to share with you a lesson learned about when we bought our bug out location, and we'll get into the lessons learned right after the intro. So here's kind of the short story. 4 or 5 years ago, we began the process of looking for a place that we could use as a bug out location. After touring the state, we zeroed in on the particular area that we liked, saw an ad, followed up with a realtor that posted the ad, took a look at that property and said no. She showed us a couple other ones. We zeroed in on the one that we bought, and it was just what we were looking for. So far out in the boonies that you could barely even find it on a map. So just great. There's a secondary road that runs out of that town up to a even smaller secondary road that goes to basically a dirt and gravel road that goes about a mile off of that, way out into the sticks. Nobody around, no buildings, no houses, no nothing. Guy lived down at the end of the street, saw us there looking at the property, stopped by, we chatted with him, found out he's a retired Marine. He said, oh, you're going to love it out here if you're looking to get away. It's very quiet, it's good hunting, all kinds of good things about this area. So okay, we go. We go sit down with a lawyer at the closing and get everything all done, and he pops out, oh, here's the covenants for the homeowners association that you just joined by buying this property. It was like, whoa, what's that all about? Well, yeah, they were there. It's never been activated, it's never been enforced, but it's there and it's part of the covenants, and it's got to go along with the transfer of the property, so here it is. Well, basically disappointed, I looked at the realtor and said, wow, what's this all about? And she said, I guess I missed it, don't know. We built the shed. I did a whole bunch of videos on building that shed up there. And after we got the shed built, or while we were building the shed, folks bought the piece of property across the way and built a house. And it took them about 4, 5, 6 months to build the house, drill in the well, septic system, put up probably a $400,000 home there. It's absolutely beautiful. And we got a chance to meet them. They seemed like nice people. He's a professional. She's a professional. I think photographer. So we had a couple of things in common. And here we go. So my buddy from Durham took his friend and his friend's son up there one day to the little shooting range that we put in. It's only 50 yards, but it was plenty enough for me. We had a shooting bench up there and a backstop and all that. So they took him up, 13-year-old kid, 12 or 13, had just gotten his first .22 rifle. So they took him up there, teach him how to shoot it, how to sight it in, and just to have some plinking fun. I got a phone call from him late that afternoon, and he says, I just wanted you to know that while we were packing up and getting ready to leave, a sheriff's deputy showed up. And the sheriff's deputy said that he was responding to a complaint of gunfire up here. And I said, well, what did we do wrong? He looked around and he said, you didn't do anything wrong. He says, I'm just here to answer a complaint. That's all. You didn't do anything wrong. I don't see any issues. You guys are perfectly safe. Shooting bench, backstop. I don't understand, but I got to respond. Well, there's only one person that could have come from. And that was the people that just built the $400,000 house right down the road. I got ticked. And I pretty much lost interest in investing any more money into that property and started compelling myself to think about, well, maybe we should sell it. So I was thinking about getting back in touch with a realtor and then realized that she didn't do such a great job. But there's other realtors around. So I was mulling that around. And I get a letter out of the blue from a developer in South Carolina that says, hey, we want to buy your property. here's our offer. And it was only about 25% of what we originally paid for the piece of property, so I just ignored it. Thought, well, yeah, I guess I am going to have to get in touch with a realtor. And as soon as I was ready to make that decision, I get another piece of correspondence in the mail from a different developer in Arizona. And I checked those guys out. They seem to be legitimate. I didn't find anything negative about them, but they are in the land development business. They found this area, and they're actively pursuing buying up these individual lots on this homeowners association. There's probably 8 or 10 different lots down this road, and made us an offer of more than what we paid for the place, and probably enough to cover the cost of the materials for the shed. So we're going to pretty much break even with the whole thing. After checking them out, I responded and says, yes, your offer is accepted. That was about a month ago. Just heard from him again last week, and things are moving along. He doesn't have any official closing date yet, but I suspect it's probably going to be another month or 6 weeks or so before we can start planning on the closing dates and all that. So for all intents and purposes, it's sold. My buddy from Durham dismantled the shed, took it apart in pieces, hauled it back to his place in Durham, and rebuilt it there. So basically the property is pretty much the way we found it when we bought it. There's nothing up there. There's no buildings anymore. All the stuff for the shooting range has been taken back. I brought the picnic table back. All the supplies and all the good stuff that was up there came back with us, and it's all here right now. Kind of crowding me out, but it really is. So there's a lesson here, and I guess I failed to do my own research into any restrictive covenants on this particular piece of property and what was going on in that particular neighborhood, and trusted the realtor to take care of it, and she obviously dropped the ball. So here I am right now with the property being sold, kind of regretting even buying it in the first place, but I'll tell you what, I'll never ever be able to pay back for the experience that I got throughout that whole process. Building the shed, buying the property, making friends with the retired Marine down the road. A lot of good things came of it. So we're in the process of looking again for another piece of property. This time we're probably going to target more out in the western part of North Carolina, out towards Boone, maybe out towards Columbus County and up along I-20 there. So we'll see how that turns out. We're going to take a couple of day trips this summer to go look at some properties out there that we've kind of got lined up. We'll see. Still got basically the same list that we had when we bought the place in up north here. So if we can find something that's good, now that I know a little bit more about purchasing raw land out in the boondocks, I'll hopefully be able to make a better deal. So let this be a lesson to you all. Check, double check, do it yourself, look it up, find the right lawyer, make sure you're not getting into something you don't want to get into. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.